Surprise, motherfucker. What's up? This is Venger Satanis. Here is another video. Another video about immersion, really. Um, I got some feedback from the last video I did on immersion, and we had a nice discussion in the comment section, and I want to, go over that, sort of dive a little deeper into that discussion. And I want to start by defining some terms. Immersion is what I've been using, and I think that works really well. But this other guy, I think his handle was Shadazar or something. He said, instead of immersion, why don't you use like better words such as verisimilitude and suspension of disbelief? So I'm going to define those two and immersion right now, so we can kind of see what's going on, and then I'm just going to talk off the top of my head about what those mean to me and the game, and my current beliefs and philosophy on what's going on and the potential for games and their basis in reality, basically. Okay, verisimilitude. The appearance of being true or real. Now, on the surface, that sounds like something we want. But what about things that intentionally go beyond what's true or real from our perspective? Like, if, let's say you have something gonzo that's just crazy, like my usual go-to gonzo thing. The Kool-Aid Man bursts out of a brick wall, like, "Hey, kids!" That's neither true nor real, as we understand it. But at the same time, in a role-playing game, stuff like that can happen, especially in a gonzo campaign setting or scenario. So verisimilitude isn't like my go-to thing. It's not the word I would use to champion whatever it is that I'm trying to champion. Okay, suspension of disbelief. Temporarily allowing yourself to believe something that isn't true, especially in order to enjoy a work of fiction. Okay. Yeah, is it true? I mean, and I'd like to think that, and I'm going to get more into this in a little bit. I'd like to think that from a certain perspective, the adventures that we have and the world, the characters, the game is real, but not real to us in a way like objective reality here and now is real. Like a lot of us have to, get up in the morning, go to work, maybe eat lunch and dinner, and then come home to our families or watching TV or role playing or whatever, video games, whatever other activity. That's what we do during the week. That is real to one degree. That is our reality here and now, objectively. However, what if these adventures and these games, these worlds and characters are real, but someplace where we just can't interact with them like we would a physical book? Are the TV shows we watch, are those real? Is Seinfeld real? Well, it's something that we all know about, and it's something that we perceive, something that a lot of us have memories of, and some of us, to one degree or another, can interact with the Seinfeld TV show. But on the other hand, it's a TV show, and it's not real, but it still exists. We can still talk about it. We still have memories of it. We can go watch an episode of Seinfeld right now. So from one perspective, Seinfeld isn't real, but from another perspective, it is. Um, and I've experienced a certain level of reality in my own games for years, but especially the last couple of years, I think. And I've been using different techniques, game mastering techniques, to facilitate this reality. So, okay, so that's suspension of disbelief. Immersion, the complete engagement of the reader in a story so that they feel like they are really there. And I think we can all agree, once we hear the definitions, that immersion is what we are talking about, what we should be talking about when we're talking about that feeling like you are there experiencing the character you're portraying and the world that you're in when you're engaged in role-playing game activities. That's what I want to feel like. I want to feel like I am there, like I am experiencing it through the proxy that is, the player character. I just think that something is being brought into reality when we play with an eye for immersion, with that as a goal. I think we could be mindful of the fact that these experiences are to some degree real, and making them more real, making them feel realer, like that reality has substance, should be our goals. I mean, it's my goal. It doesn't have to be everybody's goal. Some people just like to roll dice and hang out with friends and pretend to fight dragons and be a hero and just have fun, which is great. And I have fun too, role playing. I'm not against fun, but the fun that I get, the true enjoyment I get from role playing games, is from a heightened level of immersion. I wrote some other notes here. Let me see. Just because something we've collectively imagined doesn't exist doesn't mean it's not real. I kind of talked about that before. Like maybe I can't touch a tentacle that exists somewhere in Schultz, but I can know what that tentacle feels like. I can know what it looks like. Maybe I can even know what it smells like, because we're imagining it. So, and it would go back to what is real and what is reality. If it's something that you perceive, then what's the difference between a tentacle that I can, let's say a prosthetic tentacle, or an octopus tentacle that I can like touch and feel in my real life here and now, versus some monster's tentacle in Schultz. Just because I can't physically feel it doesn't mean that in that other world, that other dimension, that other universe, wherever, doesn't mean that that's not real, but in a different sense. Just like, excuse me, if you go back to Rick and Morty, or so let's say something less pop culture-y, I guess, more Appendix N. Let's say like the Chronicles of Amber. You can go into any number of different realities. Basically, there's an infinite amount of possible worlds out there that you can go to or interact with. And just because we're experiencing this reality here and now, it doesn't mean that a different reality, an alternative one, doesn't exist somewhere out there that we just can't get to because we either don't have the technology, or whatever we would need, the magic or the quantum physics or the spiritual key or something. I don't know. But yeah, just because it's not here right now, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist in some other place that we can access, that we can experience. And I'm not saying that we treat every adventure or every campaign as if it was just as real as what we're living with now. But you can see it as like maybe a suburb of the reality city that we live in now. Might take a drive to get there, to get out of the city into one of various different suburbs out there. Maybe that's not where the action is regarding our main reality, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It doesn't mean it's not there. It doesn't mean we can't go there and interact with it and be those people in that place temporarily. I think that's it. What have I got here? So everything that happens in role-playing games is potentially real, just not sharing the same space and time as this reality we're experiencing now. However, our imagination bridges that gap. So yeah, it's we use our imagination. That is our key to enter these different worlds and to become these different people and experience that other world through those people. I think that's pretty much all I want to say about the topic for now. Maybe next video, if people want, I can talk about some of those game mastering techniques. I've talked about or hinted at things like that before, but I could come right out and be more explicit about it, I suppose, if people are interested in that. So think about that stuff. Definitely comment, because I enjoy reading your feedback, and that helps me coalesce or codify my own views, and we'll just move the conversation forward. Also, share, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Okay. Hope you have a good weekend starting tomorrow. That's it.